us, Christianity is always modest in its claims to truth. Human knowledge has its obvious inbuilt limitations. The great 18th century preacher, John Wesley, knew that. He said, quote, "How astonishingly little we know of God," unquote. He went on to say how little we also know of the world revealed by science. Just look up at the sun by day or the moon and the stars by night. Often we feel a sense of awe and wonder. Wesley certainly felt that. He asked many questions, for example about astronomy. He asks, quote, "Who knows how far the universe extends? What are the limits of it?" Unquote. He's also intrigued by the concept of time. He wants to know what it is and what is eternity. Today we know a lot more scientifically speaking. We think the universe is about 14 billion years old. The start of time begins with the Big Bang, and from it processes of change have occurred. These have been characterized by strong and weak physical forces of nature. From chaos, pattern and complexity have emerged. In this formative evolution of our planet Earth has come into being. Earth is about 4 billion years old, and life has evolved through maybe 3 billion of those years. The numbers, both in terms of time and space, are mind-boggling. We feel the same sense of awe and wonder that Wesley felt when he looked at the natural world. Of course, our scientific knowledge is vastly improved, yet it remains imprecise. It is imperfect, and that is the way it has to be. Each answer in science produces new questions. The philosopher Karl Popper said this of scientific method: "Every scientific theory has to be capable of being proved false." He meant that sound science is always open to further exploration and new possibilities. So the 18th century preacher and the 20th century philosopher had much the same idea. A question remained, however, for John Wesley. It was this: does Christianity have all the answers? We can see how science is very powerful because it's always open to being improved. Newer, better, more compelling descriptions can emerge. Can and should that same test be applied to Christianity? The answer will shock many Methodists, especially the more conservative members of the species. He says the same imperfection of knowledge has to be applied to our understanding of Christianity. The utter honesty of John Wesley on this point is very appealing, at least to me. He's dismayed by the fact, for example, that Christianity cannot explain why it has not spread abroad to include everyone. That's astonishing. He put it like this, quote, "Who can explain why Christianity is not spread as far as sin? Why is not the medicine sent every place the disease is found?" Unquote. As a consequence, he takes a very different view of mission than what we today call evangelism. Quote, "For instance, what possibility is there that a Hottentot, New Zealander, or an inhabitant of Nova Zembla, if he lives and dies there, should ever know what holiness means?" Unquote. Wesley reaches the conclusion that our Christian faith is most important here, not our Christian doctrines and our Christian knowledge. None of us can do anything except acknowledge humility in the light of theological conundrums. Wesley even argues that the cure not getting as far abroad as the disease logically drives us to atheism. Neither logic nor reason can solve the puzzle. In humility, we have to acknowledge our Christian ignorance. We know no better than the Hottentot, or the New Zealander, or the inhabitant of Nova Zembla. We are no better off. The cure is not what we think it should be. The cure is not conversion. The cure is allowing God to be more than our human constructs. We look further into this in the series through the year with John Wesley. The next sermon he wanted read alongside of the Imperfection of Human Knowledge is a significant clue. It is the case of reason impartially considered. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.